and welcome back to the Small Biz Better Summit. We have had some amazing speakers today, and right now we have another amazing speaker for you. So glad you're joining us here for this session. Tell your friends, send out the link for them to register for this free Small Biz Better Summit. We're really on a mission to help so many people just simply small biz better. We want to make small business not only just a noun, but make it a verb. Small business is something you have to do and constantly work at to be successful. So small business better. Small Business Better is brought to you by the More Better Customers Experience. So you can find out more information there at morebettercustomers.com, morebettercustomers.com. And right now, we have the amazing Mr. Matt Gil joining us.
What's up? What's up? How you guys doing? So glad and so honored to be a part of this journey with you. Thank you for the invite. Thank you for the
Man, thank you so much for blessing us with your presence. It's amazing to have you on the summit. Really happy to have you. For any of you who do not know this amazing man, I'm going to give you just a few of his very long list of accolades and accomplishments. But I do want to let you know who you're getting the information from. Like, this man is really a beast in the industry. We're so happy to hear from him today. So today, Mr. Matt Gil, he's not only a international best-selling author, but he's also had 22 years of training and development experience. He's created content and trained for Disney, Six Flags, Red Robin International, and he served many different creative director positions, such as for Motivating the Masses, creative director and master coach and master trainer for Motivating the Masses. Touched the lives of over, get this, 36 million people worldwide, and personally touched thousands to reach the next level of their success and their impact. So we're just really happy to have Matt here today. Matt, again, brother, thank you so much for joining us, man.
Thank you for allowing me to be a part of this journey and this impact. You know, I hear the bio and it really feels weird to hear the journey. You know, I think back of the messed up little kid, troublemaker back in elementary and in junior high and high school, that was trying to find his way and was really blessed to meet some incredible companies, some incredible coaches, some incredible trainers along the way, and really just learn through trial and error, through listening to other people. For those of you on this summit right now listening, like, I acknowledge you, because this is where growth happens. This is where you hear one thing that all of a sudden like triggers an idea or triggers a movement or triggers something like, that's what I'm missing to take that next step. And so just to hear that bio, like, it's really great, but there's a whole lot of mess that occurred in between. And that's one of the things that I love is incredible about entrepreneurship. You know, It's trial and error. It's figuring out what works and what doesn't work, and what works for some people may not work for others, and what works for you may not work for other people as well. So it's a journey. It really is. And so I want to acknowledge you for creating a space to bring people together, to just mastermind and to just say, you know, here's some ideas, here's some things to think about as you're creating your business and you're creating your impact. So thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, brother. We appreciate that. That means a lot. And Matt's one of the gentlemen who's helped me along this entrepreneurial journey. He's really touched a lot on some of those hidden factors of entrepreneurship, which is the theme of this whole summit. What are some of those hidden factors that people don't think about when it comes to entrepreneurship? Everybody thinks about the things that you always see. Oh, the logo, the website, and the products. What products are we delivering? But to really get down beneath the surface, think of it as an iceberg. What are those things, that 95% of the iceberg that you don't see, that's beneath the surface, that holds up that iceberg that you do see above the surface? Mr. Matt Gil is one of the men who have helped me out tremendously with that. And I want you guys to take notes, listen very attentively to the advice that he's about to share, because it can really help you. Again, look for those little nuggets. A lot of times we look for transformation to be these big, I used to do this a lot, these big, you know, that God was going to descend from the heavens and say, Marcus, pay attention to it. Yeah, right. And a lot of times it was just those needle point moves, that the slight changes in my perspective and mindset that have really made a tremendous difference. So I want to encourage you to look for those as well. So Yeah. So, and Matt's topic here today is talking about taking the leap. A lot of you have asked questions about how do we transition from our full time investor, we call our investors the
Mm,
job, our full time job. How do
right.
we transition from that to going to entrepreneurship? And Matt has some insight on that, coached many people on that as well, directly, thousands directly, and impacted millions, as we've heard earlier. So he's going to talk about that as well. And without, I'm going to shut up because Matt needs to get on the topic here. So take it away,
Well, you know,
Matt Gil.
the beautiful thing, Marcus, what I love about what you're saying is that there really truly is, so much more to entrepreneurship, onto taking the leap. What Marcus hasn't said is that I've had the honor of being able to help other entrepreneurs put their business together and really help them come up with a different mindset to look at things differently. I love being called a disruptor because we get into our patterns, we get into the way that we normally think, and then somebody comes along and disrupts that thinking for a moment with just a question or just an idea, and that disruption causes something greater. And so I think that's what this conversation, that's my intention for this particular conversation, is to disrupt um, a pattern that's not serving you. Now, those patterns that are serving you, that are working for you, keep them, let them work. But those that aren't, like, let me, I invite, my invitation is just to think of something differently. And that's always a conversation that I've had with any of the entrepreneurs or people that I've coached is what I'm saying may not be 100% for you, but just listen for what you need to hear. And I think that when we think of our goals, when we think of stepping into entrepreneurship or doing things, we have to do things 100%. We have to jump all in. And a lot of times when things don't always work out the way that we want, when we jump in 100%, we get frustrated, we beat ourselves up, and all of a sudden we begin this spiral of, I shouldn't have done this, what am I doing? And we question everything. We question our passion. We question our heart. We question the thing that's been driving us to make that leap in the first place.
No.
And so when we think about taking the leap, as I was saying, I've been able to help and support so many people in working for corporations and companies. Motivating the Masses was the last company there 13 years. Still partnering with them, but in a different way now. Coming in as a consultant, which is amazing because it allows for me the opportunity to develop my business and be able to focus on the things that I want, but still be able to nurture and build what Motivating the Masses and I have created together and what I've been able to support with their goals, which is super exciting. But at the same time, now I'm stepping out as an entrepreneur on my own. And so everything that I've been able to teach, I'm now getting to practice, which is really unique because that whole mindset piece of what I coach people on, I'm actually coaching myself on and reminding myself. And I think that there are what I'm discovering are the 5 W's
Mm.
to entrepreneurship. And this it's a recent awareness that has come in. And when you think about storytelling, when you think about going back into elementary school and they're telling, yeah, you want to tell a story, you have your 5 W's: your who, what, where, when, and why.
Yep.
Your who, what, where, when, and why. Well, not only do those apply in storytelling, but they also apply to us as entrepreneurs in our business.
Yeah.
And I think that we kind of forget that. And it's those 5 W's that have helped to keep me on track with my mindset, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
So when you're thinking of your business, when you're thinking of you're going to hear me say business, but you're also going to hear me say impact because I think they're both the same. The business is the revenue generating process of your impact. Like we get into business to make an impact. Like we get into whether that an impact of our wallet, an impact of how we're impacting society, how we're impacting our family. Like there's a reason, there's something that's motivating us. So I'm going to invite you to think about what are your five W's. So your who, who do you want to impact? Who's your client? What's your other ways that people say it is who's your avatar? Who's your customer base? Who is it that you want to touch? What do they look like? What's their age demographics? What's their ethnicity? What's their geographical experience? What, like, who are they? Where do they go? Where do they hang out? What do they do? Like, understanding your client, your avatar
Hmm.
is important, because that's going to give you a direction.
Yeah.
That's going to give you the direction of where you want to go. And it's going to lead you the to your what,
Mm.
which is your second one. Your what, like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do for them? What's their need? You've I'm sure you've heard the saying, find the need, fill the need. Find the need,
Yeah.
fill the need.
Yeah.
And that's what we do as entrepreneurs. We're really creative. And that's what I love about entrepreneurship. Like, I think we don't ever talk about the creativeness of many entrepreneurs. We're creating something that doesn't exist yet in most situations.
Right.
And some entrepreneurs don't even consider themselves creatives, but I think they're probably one of the most creative people that are out there. We look at artists and painters and singers and dancers and things like that and be like, they're the creative ones. Entrepreneurs are creative because they're making up some stuff on the fly to make it work. Like that. And oh there's an acknowledgement piece, or a way that we miss, in that step. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Absolutely.
And so your second W is your what. What do you want to do with them? So once you find them, once you know who you want to serve, what do you want to do? What do you want to create? What possibilities do you want to offer them?
Yeah.
What change in their life? How do you want to make their life easier? You look at the phones nowadays. Everything is on here. Like, for
Mhm.
Steve Jobs to come up with this idea of creating this smartphone that we can do everything. I have more I have more power in this phone
Yeah.
than on my computer. And this goes with me everywhere. Like, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
And it's some really random crazy idea that this man had, and probably so many people along the way were like, you're nuts. You're
Yeah.
bananas to think that this is going to work.
Oh yeah.
And here, look at how many people have iPhones, and look at what happens when our phones don't work.
Yeah.
Like, it's the end of the world. So, and that's not to say anything for Samsung users. I'm just saying I am an Apple guy, but
We are loyal Samsung.
right,
I was
right.
about to say.
Right. So your third W is your where, and the storytelling, it would be your where. And really, your where in entrepreneurship is, how are you going to touch them? What's the modality? Like, where are they going to absorb your content? Where are they going to pick up your product? Where are they going to use your services? Is it an online app? Is it web based? Is it coaching? Or is it one-on-one? Is it a live experience? Like, where is it that they absorb what you're offering? So you have your who, you have your what, you have your where, and when. Your fourth one is your win. How often are you touching them? I think one of the things that many entrepreneurs forget is the fulfillment piece
Mhm.
of business. What happens after they say yes? Like, we get so excited that they said yes, they bought it.
Yeah.
Okay, now what? We forget of we think about some of the basics, which are like your welcome email, or this is what your next steps are. But the connection um, that happens after the yes.
Yeah.
How do you keep them motivated? How do you keep them in movement, in action, so that they are ready for their next yes? Once they complete what they've done the first time, what's their next step with you?
Absolutely.
And so we forget that fulfillment piece. We forget that connection. Um, there are three keys to what I call building community. Um, and I wasn't really planning on saying this, but I'm going to give it to you anyway.
Ooh, please.
The the three keys are: one, communication, communicating with your client, communicating with your whoever's coming in. How are you communicating with them? Video being one of the strongest modalities out there right now. People want to see you, people want to hear you, people want to feel you, people want to hear the tone of your words. Like, you can read. I just was listening to a speaker who was saying, if you have an important message, don't text it. Put it
Right.
on a put it on a video and send the video. If you're not going to get on the phone and call, then do a video or do an audio message,
Yeah.
because people misunderstand the tone
Yes.
through text. And I was like, wow. Like, I can think back of many times that people, wait, I didn't mean it like that.
Yep.
like and so I could have changed something by doing a video or a audio memo or something like that.
Mm.
So when you're talking, when you're communicating with your client or your potential clients or your community members, like, do a video, shoot a
Mm.
real quick iPhone, Samsung video. Samsung's got great cameras. It doesn't have to be super wow. You don't have to,
Yeah.
or have a film crew in there to to shoot it for you. Just do some basic stuff.
Like your
Um,
imaginary film crew,
right.
your IFC.
Right, my IFC for the longest time. So for I growing up at the age of about 4 years old, I created my IFC, which is my imaginary film crew, and my imaginary film crew would go with me anywhere I went. I would turn a pen or a pencil into a microphone, and I would just start pretending like I was broadcasting. And the beautiful thing is, through all of the creativeness and the playing and the practicing, and now I walk around with a film crew at live events, and I have a crew that follows me when we do mornings with Matt for the YouTube show, and we have a new show that's coming with For Faith and Flow. And so now I've been able to manifest all of the stuff that I used to do as a child now as an adult, and be able to make an impact in there, which is what I'm about.
Yeah.
Is more of the impact, because I believe that the more impact that you create, the more money and the finances come in.
Absolutely.
And so that's just that's I'm driven by impact. I'm not necessarily driven by the money or the revenue, although I know I got to pay my bills.
Right.
But I'm more driven by the impact, because the more impact I make, I get to see that revenue start to come in.
Absolutely.
So there's your communication, your connection. How are you keeping everybody connected? Is it on a Facebook group? Facebook. If you are seeing some of the commercials, face,
Mhm.
Facebook right now is in this big promotion. To really get groups together. Um, through they're putting TV ads, putting like-minded people in one particular area, so that you can have a very focused conversation. And so I love Facebook groups. I think they're amazing. For those that are revenue driven, there's opportunity for you to create revenue through Facebook groups as well. So it's incredible that there's so many opportunities that are out there. But how are you keeping your community connected? Are you creating events using Zoom, like a monthly coaching call of just an open Q&A? I love in the summit where you guys are looking into doing an open Q&A call to get everybody together as part of the summit. Amazing idea. Like, think about what are the things that you can do in your product or your service right now to bring your customers together in a way where they have access to each other. Is there even maybe an Instagram account, or WhatsApp is a new. I'm starting to see groups on WhatsApp.
Yeah.
I try to stay off of my phone as much as possible. So,
Ooh.
um, but it's amazing. It's a way of staying connected. And people, I
Absolutely.
think the biggest thing that people realize is that they're not alone during that connection. And sometimes what I've seen, and what I'm seeing in my own self, is that as an entrepreneur, we put ourselves in a cave,
Yeah.
and we forget that there's a bunch of resources out there. We forget that there's other people that have gone on this journey. that can be there to support us and to be there to help us, or just to say, hey, I feel you.
Yeah.
I feel you. And so the third key is celebration, celebrating the progress. And I think it's weird to say, some people, when in coaching, I always start off all of my coaching calls with the question, what do you want to be celebrated for? And on the first couple times that people are coaching with me, they're like, I don't know. Like, okay, great. Think about it for a moment. Like, let's just stop and what do you want to be celebrated for? Some celebration doesn't have to be really big. Doesn't mean
Right.
I closed a $30,000 deal, or I got, 5 clients. Sometimes a celebration is, hey, I answered the telephone of that person that I've been avoiding.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's I sometimes it can be, I got out of bed today. Like, I didn't want to get up, I didn't want to face the day, but I got out of bed. Like, that's a celebration, because it requires you to make a choice. It requires you to make a choice to do something bigger, to do something better, to be in movement when you could have done something different. So
That's good.
our minds, here's the thing about our minds, are like this huge, massive file cabinet. And if you think about the chatter that we have and what we talk, I call it self-talk. Some people call it mind chatter. It could be whatever term you want to call it. A majority of the conversation that we have with ourselves is negative. It's talking us out of doing the things that we want to do, the things that we should be doing. It talks us out of some of our goals. It sometimes will talk us into doing things that we don't want to do, that we know we shouldn't be doing, in relationships that we shouldn't be in.
Mm.
It keeps us in relationships longer than we should be. It
Mm.
has us
Don't
eating,
hurt.
right, like
Don't hurt.
it has us eating foods that we know are not good for us, but
Mm.
they're our comfort food. Like, our minds are so incredibly powerful, and the conversation that we're having with ourselves goes deep.
Yeah.
So part of this process is understanding your mindset, and what's the conversation that you're telling yourself.
Mhm.
Like, what's that chatter? What are you saying to yourself on a daily basis? Taking a look at that negative chatter and identifying it, because that negative chatter is always going to be there.
Yeah.
Like, our negative chatter is like these little guys in our head that are like, they run around in these file cabinets, and they're there now, mind you, our negative chatter is designed to, even in when we talk about fear is designed to not have us get hurt,
Right.
right? And I'm sure you've heard this before. And so what our minds do when we are making a decision or we're about to do something, our minds go directly into the file cabinets, and they look inside to see, what evidence do we have? What evidence exists right now? Did this work? Oh, no, it didn't work. Nope, 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 nope. And it's pulling out all this evidence of the times that what we wanted to do didn't work. And so then they present it to us, and it shows up in our mind as our negative chatter. Oh, well, you didn't do it last time. Oh, you failed in here. Oh, blah, blah, blah. And so what do? We stop. And because we hear that negative chatter, and we're like, so we have to create evidence
Yeah.
of something different. And that's where celebration comes in.
Yeah.
That's why I say, what do you want to be celebrated for? Because when you celebrate, you're creating the new evidence. You're creating a new file to go inside of your file cabinet, so that when those little guys are running for evidence, they're like, oh, you did make movement. Oh, you did do this.
Mm.
Oh, so they have evidence now to go through. So all you're doing through celebration is you're creating evidence.
Mm.
You're creating evidence so that your mind knows, okay, we can do this. And then if you have a powerful self-talk queued up and ready to go, then you have evidence and you have a powerful self-talk. So you have two different tools that are helping to push you forward.
Mm.
Your powerful self-talk is something that you get to create all on your own. You get to make it up, and it doesn't have to be true right now.
Mm.
It doesn't have to be true right now. But it's something that when that negative chatter comes in, you're able to be like, oh, hold up. I'm going to press pause on that negative. and I'm going to press play on my powerful.
Mhm.
I'm going to switch the conversation. For those of you guys that are familiar with NLP, neuro linguistic programming, there's a way of anchoring in, of going through and pressing pause and actually physically touching and pressing pause on the negative, because in your mind it's like, wait, something's happening. We're supposed to do something. And then pressing play on your powerful. And then all of a sudden, it's, I am strong enough. I am more than worthy. I deserve to live a life of success. I choose to, like, you get to create all of this stuff. Listen, there's some stuff that's on my powerful self-talk that I know is not true yet. But let me just tell you, I'm working on getting there a lot closer. And I believe it. And the beautiful thing is the more that you practice the pause on the play, the pause on the negative and the play and the powerful. And it's not positive. Positive is lovely. Positive is
Mhm.
nice. But it's a powerful,
I
like
love that.
repeat after me, powerful self-talk.
Powerful self-talk.
Powerful self-talk. It's powerful. There's even the word pow in it, because it's like it's got energy, it's got action, it's got movement. It's powerful. It's a powerful self-talk because it's so powerful that it overcomes the negative.
I love that.
So your powerful self-talk, the more that you practice the pause and the play, when your negative comes up, your powerful now is automatically going to start to jump in and be like, oh, nope, hold up. You are worthy
Mm.
of doing that. You do deserve to have that success. You do deserve to be in a healthy relationship. You do. Like, there's just it just overcomes the negative. And that's all part of the mindset. And that's where, you've got to surround yourself around positive, powerful people, that are inspiring you, that make you want to be a better person, that make you think differently, that are challenging what you used to think of.
Mhm.
So you have your who, your what, your where, your when is, how often are you touching them? But here's the most important. The
Mm.
most important is your why. Why are you doing it?
Yeah.
What's your driver? Why do you want to make an impact? Like, understanding the reason why you want to get up in the morning.
Mm.
For me, um, I've lived a very beautiful life,
Mm.
and amidst that beauty was a whole lot of chaos,
Hmm.
and it was a whole lot of chaos that, in many situations, I created for myself.
Mm.
Um, and I'm grateful. I really am grateful for all of it,
Yeah.
um, because I learned something along the way.
Yeah.
And what I realize now, and what I'm choosing to do as I'm moving forward in what I'm creating through Faith and Flow and through the coaching program, and as I'm creating Matt Gil Media, which is really crazy to even
Oh.
say and speak, because it's so huge that even my mind can't grasp it all yet.
Yeah.
Um, is the why. I
Mm.
want somebody I want that 16-year-old boy or girl
Mhm.
that's sitting back thinking of these massive dreams. At the time, it was television. I really thought I was going to be the next Tom Cruise. Apparently, I'm taller than him, so that didn't work out. But I want somebody to that's sitting back and have these dreams and have these goals to know that they can do it.
Mm.
And for the adults, or even young adults that have created some chaos and have moved and are now on somewhat on the other side of that chaos, to realize that you're not your past.
Mhm.
Your past does not define you. I recently posted on my social media that I'm not afraid to share who I was,
Mm.
because I know who I now am.
Ooh.
Like, I'm okay with sharing who that person was and what that person was going through, because I know who I am now,
Yeah.
with no guilt, no shame, no, I was in a really chaotic situation.
Yeah.
I was finding ways of numbing myself from my emotions, from how I was feeling.
Yeah.
That showed up in drinking, that showed up in drugs, that showed up in working all the time, that showed up with sexy excuses of I can't be there because I got to do this, this, and that.
Hmm. Yeah.
When really there was an emotional side of what I didn't want to feel. And so I
Absolutely.
used all of those excuses to run. And so I want somebody who is either there now or just outside of that to be able to hear my story and to be able to say, I can get through that. There's hope on the other side. And as I begin this journey now in introducing faith and flow, and I'll share a little bit about what that is. It really is sharing the journey, sharing the successes, which is what everybody always sees and everybody always celebrates. But it's also sharing those intimate moments of crap. What the hell did I just do?
Yeah.
Like, why am I doing this? And there's some videos that I shot um, recently with the transition where I question, am I doing the right thing?
Mm.
And I really had to go back to my why. Why is it that I'm doing this? Like, why? What's the driver? What do I want to do? And so the who, what, where, when, and why are the questions that I ask myself. Um,
Mm.
I did another post and um, stepping out of what's interesting is social media is my way of my own therapy.
Ah.
And I'll post questions to not only for me but for other people to kind of feel and to ask themselves. And I asked this question. I was up and attached. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Excuse me. Who am I?
Mm.
What is it that I truly stand for? How do I want people to see and feel me? What impact do I want to create? Who is it that I want to attract into my life and in my business?
Mm.
And this last question is what really got me was who or what is it that I need to love from a distance,
Mm.
release, or love from a distance or release with dignity?
Ooh, I love that. Wait a minute. Repeat those for us, please. Please repeat
Yeah.
those for us.
So there's who am I? What is it that I truly stand for? How do I want people to see me and or feel me? What impact do I want to create? How do I want to achieve this impact? Who is it that I want to attract into my life? Like being very intentional of who are the people that I know that I need in my circle. Is it business developers? Is it web developers? Is it people that are financially stable that have really great money skills? Is it people that are great writers, more creative? Like who are the people that I need to have around me more so that I can attract those people? And then the last question is who or what is it that I need to love from a distance, meaning I still love you? And this is where some of your family comes in.
Yep.
You want to love your family, but you need to love them from a distance. You
Mm.
need to let them be. You're not going to change their mind. You're not going to be able to get them to see your vision. And listen, some people don't get your vision because God didn't give them your vision.
Right.
And I'm not here to impose my belief. And I say God, a higher power, whatever that belief is, for you. But your vision was given to you.
Yeah.
It wasn't given to everybody else. So not everybody's going to get it. And they're going to be going based on what they know. If
Right.
they've only been exposed to a small percentage of possibility and you're trying to introduce them to a wide, big possibility, they're not going to get it because this is, again, the only evidence that they have.
Yeah. Mm.
You, as you begin to process and you begin to build, you're going to begin to give them more evidence and then they'll be able to believe it and see it. So, who do you need to love from a distance or release altogether?
Mm.
And release with dignity.
Yeah.
That's the key. Release with dignity in a way of not a make wrong, not a you were horrible to me and the oh woe is me. Like there's the drama that we like,
Yeah.
right? I'm gonna save that for Bravo Network. Um, but we love them, and we release them with dignity. And what that looks like, and here's the practice, is what lessons did you learn from them?
That's good.
Like, what, whether it may be something of, I learned that I am more patient than I recognized before.
Mm,
I learned that I have the ability to forgive sooner, quicker, faster.
mm,
um, I learned that I need to enhance my communication,
yeah.
that I wasn't as strong with sharing exactly how I felt, and that I left my communication open for interpretation instead of being open and honest of how I was feeling.
Oh, that's good.
Right. Look,
Yeah.
I'm just saying I'm just saying what things that are real for me, that in going through this process, these are the things that I had to learn. There are many times that assumed people knew what I meant.
Yeah.
And then when things weren't done, I would get frustrated. I'd get all, "Ugh, okay, fine, I'll do it myself." And really, I had to look at myself and say, did I communicate this right? Like, I really had to look back and really begin to trust myself.
Yeah.
Um, so your five W's is your who, what, where, when, and why. Your why is what drives you. Your other questions, who do you need to create space for? Um, those are all just some of the things that I've been coaching people to, and what I love is now I'm sitting in the space of, I get to ask myself these questions. I get to go through this journey, and there's parts of me that I absolutely love, and then there are parts of me that I'm like, oh, that's got to change. That's got to change really quick. And being allowing yourself, giving yourself the grace and the mercy. For some entrepreneurs, it's their first time stepping into the space. For others, they've been doing this for a while, and now they're elevating where they are. I think going through these questions, even if you've been in business for a while, going through these business and relooking, am I still in the same space? Where you built your business when you began is different from where you are now. Are you still in alignment with where you are? Do you need to change that? Are there people that have stepped into your space since you began that now you need to release? All right. They serve their purpose. There are different relationships. There are different types of relationship. There's lifetime. There's they came for a reason or they came for a purpose. And so do you need to, is that purpose fulfilled? Then now, bye, Felicia. Like, thank you, I love you. It's time to go. And still loving in a different way. Really evaluating where am I right now, and am I running in the right direction? Finding your rhythm, I
Yeah.
think, is one of the biggest things, especially when you're first taking the leap, because your rhythm has been based on everybody else's needs.
Mm,
Your rhythm has been based on what your boss needed, what the team needed, what your supervisor needed, what all the other all of it, that's how your rhythm was created. Okay, I got to get this for that person. I got to go do this for this, and then all of a sudden you step into entrepreneurship, and it's like all you.
yeah.
You're like, whoa, hold on. What's my rhythm? What does my day look like? So finding your rhythm of what feels good, of what serves you.
Yeah.
I'm looking at completely flipping my content creative hours. So I'm the most creative, and I know it's that some people are going to be able to resonate with this, and other people are going to think I'm cuckoo, and I'm okay with either. But my most creative time, when I need to sit and focus and write content or something creative like video production or video ideas and graphics, and or recently I spent 7 hours editing music, something new. Never done that before, but I wanted to give it a try. I do that between the hours of 11:30 at night
Mm,
to 4, 5 o'clock in the morning,
mm,
because the world is much more silent. My phone is not going off. I know I'm not pulling from everybody. I'm not distracted. I get distracted very easily. Um, I say I have ADD, adult distraction disorder. And I just get distracted really, ooh, shiny, like all the time. Anything distracts me. And so there's less distractions at that time, and it's just quiet. And so I create. So I'm going to be, when I look at my rhythm, I'm looking at what are the days that I know I can work those hours from 11 to 5, still be able to get some sleep,
Yeah.
from like 5 to noon, and then be able to join the rest of the world from like noon to 5 o'clock. Does that make sense? Like
Yeah.
I have to find my rhythm because not everybody is going to understand, oh, he was up until 7 o'clock, working on something. Like, so you have to find your rhythm of work, what works for you.
No.
Um, I think the other thing that's super important is your accountability.
Yeah. Yeah.
Having accountability, people that are going to hold you to your vision. In a when we work for somebody or we're in our job, we have our boss, we have our supervisors, we have our KPIs, our key performance indicators that keep us on track. Those are our accountabilities. Those are the things that are mile markers. So for your business, what's your mile marker? Like when you think of your goals, when you think of your visions, what are the baby steps? What are the micro wins along the way? I'm a checks person. Like I love making lists and then putting the check marks so I can go chick, chick, chick. Like,
I thought you meant like paper checks, like money
oh,
checks.
I love check. I love checks too. Look, if you want to send them, you can send them to PO Box. No, um, I love those checks too. But I love like lists and checks because it
Yeah.
shows me that I'm making progress. I'm doing I'm doing something, and I like that. And I'll break it down into small little pieces.
Yeah.
So that way I can see, oh, I'm making progress, and it's not just the big project that's done.
Yeah.
Um, and so who are the people that are holding you accountable? Are they your um, is it somebody on your team? Is it a friend? Is it a mentor? I always recommend getting a coach. I think your coach should have a coach.
Huh.
We should always be in development and always be learning and always be growing. And so, who's that accountability partner?
Yeah.
And the last thing that I would say is just stay in action. Just stay in action, even if it's a small thing, even if it's getting up to do one call for the day. You made movement. And all of this is like I said, this is stuff that I've been able to coach around with entrepreneurs from every industry, from doctors to the entertainment industry to real estate agents to private people that are flipping properties, um, to the newest industry that's out here in the states that you're hearing a lot about, and that's the legalized marijuana. Like
Hmm.
every
Yeah.
industry, has the same things. It's the same steps, and so all of the coaching that I've been able to do now, I'm doing on myself, and I feel grateful, that. But at the same time, I have my coaches and I have the people that I ask to hold me accountable as well. But these are the questions that I've had to ask, and I encourage you, whether you've done this before, whether you've been an entrepreneur, you've got a business that's running, go back and ask yourself, see if you're still in alignment with where you started from, or if you need to make some modifications. And if you're just about ready to take that leap to step outside of your investor, one, be prepared, like prepare yourself, financially. I've had months worth of money saved up before I stepped out of being full time, and time goes by really really fast,
Yeah.
and so will the money. And so prepare yourself up to be successful, but take the leap. I believe that if there is a feeling inside of you, and this is where faith comes in, and faith is a really interesting conversation. It's where I'm moving to. It's why I created Faith and Flow, um, because I want to share the journey of I believe God put this idea, this feeling, and this purpose in my life. And when he didn't give me all of the answers. He didn't show me all of the path and say, you're going to do this, and then you're going to do this, and then this is going to happen. And which is what I really wish he would have done. I really wish God would just give me this memo. It would be like this memo from God and be like, okay, this is what's going to happen. And that way I could be like, okay, cool. I got this. We got this.
Check your checklist.
Right. And I realized that's not just the way he works. Like, I have to step out in faith, but everything that if the ideas instilled in me,
Mm,
the answers and the way that it's going to happen, it'll come.
yeah.
And, Walt Disney says, if you can dream it, you can make it happen.
Yeah.
And so you have to step out, you have to take the leap in faith. Do it smart, be prepared, have a plan, know what you want to do. You're not going to have all the answers. Your plan's going to change 50 billion times by the time you get to the end result.
Yeah.
But ultimately, you have it inside of you. And that's, I think, where your mindset comes in. But when you know your 5 W's, your who, your why, start with your why. Like that'll drive you. Your why, your who, what, where, and your when. You're going to powerfully move forward. You're going to powerfully get to your goals, your dreams, your impact, your revenue. And you're going to get there.
Love that. Man. Oh, man. You said you're going to share some. Boy, you dropped some great nuggets, man. That is awesome. No, that's perfect. That's perfect. I want to make sure everybody captures those. There's so many great things. Remember the 5 W's. The start with why, the who, what, when, where. Make sure the 5 W's. You did the 3 C's, the communication, connection, and celebration. Right, you did the powerful, the pause on the negative, the play on the powerful, and that distinction between some people might say pause on the negative, play on the positive, but no, you made that distinction of the powerful, and I love that. I want to make sure we highlight that as well. So many mindset shifts as well, from the accountability when you are taking that leap, from who you're accountable to when you are working with your job or your investor, as we like to say, versus you're an entrepreneur or a business owner or you're a small business owner. That different accountability. So many tremendous, great nuggets that I want you guys to make sure, take notes, rewatch the replay, make sure you take those notes, and make sure you internalize a lot of these, because these are a lot of the factors of successful small business ownership that many people don't think about. They don't take into account. A lot of times we take that leap and we think it's going to be just like it was when we were working for that business or working for that corporation or working for someone else in general. Totally different. There's some transitional skills, of course, that we can use. And there's some of these skills that we need to build on, and these skills that we don't talk about as often. So I really hope you guys are taking a lot of attention to those skills. And I emphasize a lot because everything you were saying, I heard and I saw in my life. And not only from a business standpoint, I want to make sure many of you see the parallels. A lot of this, all of this actually applies personal too. When we're talking about the small business, who do you need to love from a distance? You might think in your own life, who you need for personal reasons. So look at how all of these things are, it's more than just small business better. It's how do we life better? How do we live life better?
And so many people think that they're very different. Like they'll have a business coach, but they won't have a coach within their personal lives. And the degree of success that you have in your personal life, in your emotional life, in the amount of work that you're doing there is also what you're going to have in your business. Because the more that you clear out space, the level of degree that you have and that you put in attention in personal development and getting your life in order, you're going to have that level of success in your business. It's like you're trying to run a business, and I'm going to grab these pillows off of it. Well, say I have a whole bunch of pillows and I'm stacking them on top, and we're running around life trying to balance all of this stuff while operating a business, while trying to go through and make an impact, while trying to make financial decisions. But we have pillows on top of pillows on top of pillows, and we're carrying them around. And sometimes they're all on top of us, sometimes they're on our head, and they're all over the place. And we're trying to balance all of this stuff. but we're not making room for what's new. So
Yeah.
when we start to do the personal development work, you begin to remove some of those things that you've been holding on to. And now you're able to create a space to operate your business. You have more clarity to make financial decisions. You have more clarity to make those business decisions that you've been wanting to make, but your personal life has been in chaos,
Hmm.
distracting you. So you do the work personally so that it impacts your business. They work hand in hand, they're not separate. They have to work together.
Mm.
So there is one more nugget.
Oh, love that, man. It's true. These nuggets are amazing, amazing. And one thing I love is how you talk about how you just mentioned these things are related. You can't have the great business success without the personal success, but a lot of times that's the hidden factor of small business better. You know, the
Right.
personal aspect. The business can't grow beyond you as a person, as you as an individual. And I think that's such an important distinction. And I love how one of the many programs that you created, one of the new programs that you're launching, the Faith and Flow, how that really ties those two aspects in together. And I'd really love for you to tell us a little more about that as well.
Yeah, so you can go to www.faithandflow.com and follow the journey. So I am putting together, I want to create an environment where we can have a global conversation around what faith means to you, not just faith from a spiritual aspect, or religious. Like that's, we think of faith in that way, but faith in yourself, faith in love, faith in trust, faith in, like, what does the word faith mean to you and how has it applied in your life? Where are the moments that you took action in faith? Where are the moments that you didn't trust your faith? And when did it work? When did it work? Like, what did you learn? Like, I want to help people share their stories of living in faith and operating in flow. Now, if you think about the ocean, if you think about water or like a lake, water flows. Water can hit something, a rock or a distraction, and it goes around it. It
Hmm.
doesn't stop it. It goes around. Even in like pools, not swimming pools, but like in like tide pools, like the water still comes in and it just flows in, and there's still movement in it. So when you operate in flow, you're not stopped by whatever circumstances are happening. You still can move through it, move around it, but you're still in movement because you know ultimately where you're going to go. Like the river doesn't question where it's going, it
Yeah.
just knows it's going to get there. So, and through faith and flow, it's the journey of me having this idea of creating this global conversation and putting it together and stepping out, taking the leap in faith, not knowing exactly how I'm going to do all of it. Now, I've got some pretty massive ideas that are so huge that I'm like, I don't know how it's going to ever happen. And it's not for me to worry about how it's going to happen because it will happen in its time. I need to
You
be
know
in
how
movement right
Christians
now.
need the faith.
Right, right.
Yeah.
I need to be in movement right now based on what I can do. And then all of a sudden, doors will open. Let me just tell you, the minute I said yes, it was crazy. Opportunities started showing up that I was like, whoa, hold on. Like, I really had to, that's when I had to say, okay, wait. I had so many opportunities that I needed to say, is this opportunity in alignment with where I know I want to go? Instead of just saying yes to everything. And so faith and flow is the journey. It's me sharing the journey. It's you co-creating with me. So what I love about this is there's some new ideas that have never been done that I want to give to you guys to say, okay, what do you think about this? And have you try it out or create it with me. And so faith and flow is all of that journey, and anybody can be a part of it. You can go to faithandflow.com to sign up. You'll get three daily practices to living in faith and flow, things that you can do just to ground yourself and to stay connected with who you truly are, and then to be a part of that journey. At 2020, we got a brand new book that's coming out called Living in Faith and Flow. With that will also be the Facebook group that we're talking about of the connection, and you'll get to see the actual three keys that I talk about being exercised and utilized as part of that movement. And so I'm super excited because I have what vision I've been given so far. And what I'm starting to see that the vision is much more bigger than what I've already seen. So thank you for allowing me to share that opportunity and what that's going to be.
Oh, thank you for sharing it with us, man. We are, again, just so grateful to have you here on the Small Better Business Summit. This has been amazing. Everyone, I hope you have taken some amazing, great notes. Again, a lot of stuff to unpack here. So remember, rewatch the replays, take those notes. On the replays, of course, then you can pause it and like, okay, those are those 5 W's. Those were those 3 C's. Take those notes because these are really those hidden factors of success that can really help you excel sooner, quicker, faster in your business. And also faithandflow.com with Mr. Matt Gil. Amazing, amazing gentleman. You definitely want to stay in touch and definitely want to keep in contact. So make sure you check him out there as well. And with that, we're out of time for this segment. But I think it's safe to say we'll probably have Mr. Matt Gil on a future summit. I haven't asked him that. So I'm projecting that in Faith and Flow.
And it'll be a yes, yes.
And so thank you again, everyone, for joining the Small Business Better Summit. Remember, small business is something that you do. And so small business better is all about how do we take the action to make our small businesses better, to make our lives better, to live better, learn better, to do everything on a better level. So thank you so much for attending. We got more great sessions coming up for you at this summit. So you've watched the previous sessions, you've watched this session. We have more coming up for you. So stay tuned. You'll get the information on you'll get the emails on the future sessions that you registered for today. So there should already be in your box. And with that, Mr. Mike Gill, any further closing comments?
I just want to say thank you guys for allowing me to share this space with you. Thank you for allowing me to be your brother in this journey. You are important. Your message, your impact, and who you are plays a vital role in people's lives. And we look for validation, we look for celebration from everybody else in our world. And so I want to invite you to celebrate yourself today. Take a look at the mirror, look at yourself, and say, "I celebrate you for." And pick 3 things that you can celebrate yourself for. They may be the things that nobody is ever going to know, the decisions that you made that you're never going to be able to tell anybody else about, that you keep in the darkness of your own life because of whatever that may be, but it was a big decision. And so look at yourself in the mirror and just say, "I celebrate you for." Give yourself a wink and then carry on your day. Listen, I see you, I celebrate you, and I just appreciate you for allowing me to be a part of your journey. So thank you guys. I hope that we can stay connected.
Oh, thank you again, brother. Really appreciate you here. And thank you all again for watching this session on the Small Biz Better Summit. Stay tuned for the next sessions, and we will see you in the very next session.